Welcome to Girls Rewatch Podcast.
I'm Amelia Rataller.
And I'm Evan Lazarus.
And this is a podcast where we rewatch shows about girls.
LOL.
LOL.
What a good summary of this.
Oh my God. It's been so long, so we've been on a little bit of a summer break. I don't know if you've noticed.
I thought I was getting to see the beach one time this summer. I yet to have to do that.
Yeah, I haven't been to beach either.
I haven't been to beach once.
But I've been to Parent Country Club.
Right. We went to my parents' country club. But I did think that I would get to see the ocean one time this summer.
Have I seen the ocean?
I haven't seen the ocean. We took this hiatus so I could go see the ocean. I couldn't even get myself to the beaches of New York City.
I went to my parents' house for the 4th of July and felt weird.
In Texas?
Yeah.
That's like a beach.
Yeah.
A beach is in your mind usually.
We're technically on a summer break, but we decided to take a break.
To break our silence.
We decided to break our silence and take a break from our break really quick to just talk to somebody who might know a little something about girls.
Maybe a little too much.
Maybe a little too much.
Uh-oh. Okay, so actually huge news. We met Jemima Kirk.
Jemima K? Is that what you're calling her? I thought you were calling her Kirk.
Oh yeah, she did text me. You can call me Kirk if I can call you Lazarus. Is that a plan?
So let's walk it back. So we finally met Jemima Kirk, a friend of the pod, I'd say.
And a Matt Starr Dream Baby Press, a poetry reading in a boxing ring full of 20-somethings.
Are we allowed to say past guest of the pod, Mackenzie Thomas is dating that guy, and that guy used to date Jemima Kirk?
Yes.
And that's what brought us to that event.
Yes.
And past guest of the pod, Ivy Wolk, was also at the event. We said, okay, all our girls are there. We're going. We walked to Tribeca. We went to a boxing gym filled with 200 people in a way that was
down about 8 flights of stairs. I never went deeper. Like the two deepest places in America is to go to a Trader Joe's in New York City or a boxing ring.
Yeah. So if you've ever been to the Atlantic Barclays Trader Joe's, it was like traveling into the underworld. Do you remember that Saoirse Ronan movie where she lives underground, the City of Ember? We went to the City of Ember to meet Jemima Kirk. And everybody at this event.
I loved her ass. Yeah, everyone was dressed
so cool. It was a room of a bunch of like probably bi-curious girls in cool skirts. And then
vintage tops, cool skirts, some place called like Seven Wonders. They grabbed it and went.
And they were giving out free recess dreams come true. I was so parched and I was like, do I have to pay for this? And they were like, no. And I was like, okay, adaptogens.
It's the price of a ticket.
Let's go.
Yeah, so we get down there. The event is like starts off with a local chorus band, local band line. What are they called? A
high school marching band spirit dancers were in the boxing ring going nuts. It felt like a pep rally in Texas. Like when I had to wake up early on Friday mornings to go to my school's cafeteria and dance, they were playing those same songs.
It was really beautiful. And then we were seeing a few different readings, a few different dances inside a boxing ring.
Her performance was the most Jessa-coded thing I've ever witnessed.
She wrote it on the taxi ride there because she felt like her first piece was too, her words, Jewish. To do, so she had to do something new.
Not her words, Matt Starr's words.
Yeah, she was the most lovely woman I've ever met in my whole life. She's
really?
So kind, it's crazy.
Yeah, you'd think she'd be too cool for school maybe based on Jessa, but
she said 8 amazing sentences to me. The first one is, again, remind you, we're in the heart of Tribeca. After the event, we're outside. She goes, where are we? Downtown Brooklyn? Love her ass. Different borough completely. She didn't even remember she lives in Brooklyn, so she doesn't even remember crossing a river, which I'm like, she was so deep into her piece that she wrote in the text right over, she didn't even realize she crossed a river.
She teleported.
She almost teleported.
I love that. When you post powerful enough IG stories, you get to teleport to your events. And I've always thought that.
She didn't have to take those stupid stairs all the way down to the boxing ring.
I just loved when she was like, I would have loved to be on the pod, but I just don't think about Jessa ever. And I have nothing to say about her.
I mean, I wouldn't want to pull up Jessa if I didn't have to.
I will say when we were talking to Zasha, it was so clear that we think about Shoshana a lot more than she does.
She's moved on to a new Netflix show.
I know. Are we watching something about a dragon?
Nope. There's no dragon in it. It's Italian. It's about the Black Plague.
Sitting on a throne.
It's like, I don't remember the name. Do you know the name?
No, of course not.
It's Italian, so it's like I actually have read it 8 times. It just didn't stick in my brain. But I've watched the first 8 out of 10 episodes, and I have to say I really do like it. First off, the costumes are beautiful. Second off, Sasha is the most amazing actress to ever walk on this earth.
Well, on that amazing note,
time to go to Andrew Rannells.
Oh my God. We could not be, if we
I've never been more excited.
suddenly get really nervous and starstruck, you have to understand
Both
what
of
we
our
might
body
be going
languages are
through.
crossed over, but like we're so excited.
What?
Our body language is ball, but our excitement is high.
If our eyes look dilated, just know that like we are trying to be as cool
It's
and
my
collected.
nootropics.
So Tony nominated Grammy award winning novelist, performer, actor, star.
Director.
What did he direct?
An episode of Modern Love for Amazon Prime.
We'll be on the couch and we cannot wait to talk Elijah Krantz
He
with
was
him.
just in The Boys also for 3 minutes, but he was in the new
Boy in the Band?
No, The Boys. He was in The Boy in the Band where he met his boyfriend, but he was in The Boys, the hit Amazon Prime show.
And I'm sure people are
superheroes.
actively pressing that forward 15 seconds at us right now.
No, he plays a gay guy still
Thank God.
because he plays a figure skater.
Well, we'll be right back. Cross dissolving now. Let's get into it. So we already did an intro. That's
You
why
did?
So we didn't.
What did you say
We
about
were just
me?
talking on and on and on. We were like, we're
You're
gonna
gonna
be
have to
so
listen.
cool. We're gonna act so normal and casual. We're gonna be so like
You're
fearless.
being very normal.
I'm trying to be so fearless. I'm shaking.
No.
Miranda Lambert. Is that her?
Miranda Lambert.
Is she Fearless or is that Taylor Swift?
That's Taylor
Taylor
Swift.
Swift does Fearless, but I feel like Miranda did Fearless first.
She also seems fearless.
Miranda Lambert did The House That Built Me, which
is fearless
You
to
built
do.
the house upon which we live.
Well, look at this. Look at all your photos. Cute.
Are these sparking?
memories?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
This one.
Of course. That's yes.
When you
Wait.
guys go
I
to
think
brunch.
Jenny Connor took that picture.
We're upset. Wait, okay. Well, let's do the intro and then we
Yes.
have so many questions.
Okay.
Cross dissolve. Oh my God. Joining
wasn't
us on the
even
couch is the one, the only,
Oh my,
Andrew
Rannells.
Rannells.
It's me.
Oh
I'm
my
here.
God. This is going to biggest save our lives.
Come on now.
No, by the way, it is.
No.
Yeah.
By the way, it is. When
Well, I'm very happy to be here.
Did
We
you see
are
all my
so
mom's
honored.
friends before today? They all sent me thank you, congratulations texts.
Well, I'm very excited to talk with you, and I'm very excited that you watched the show because you were very young when the show came out, right? You were
Yeah.
not watching it when it first came
No.
out.
a little
No.
bit.
A little bit.
we have
A
talked to
little bit.
some 19-year-olds who are like, yeah, I watched it when I was 12.
I mean, you could watch it when you're 12. I think probably a lot of it would
Kind
not.
of goes over.
Yeah, right.
Well, even the first time I watched it when I was 19 and rewatching it, I was like, well, I was a dumb bitch. Like,
well,
I had no idea
just
what's
like
going
different
on.
things hit.
Yeah.
At different
Well,
times.
the big part of like why this podcast works is because it's like we've had 10 to 12 years of separation since the show came out, and now
Yeah.
a lot of people are entering their 20 somethings, and
Absolutely.
it's resonating in a completely new way.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
true.
that's the only reason this is working.
And here you are in
Yeah.
Bushwick.
Here we are in Bushwick.
Living it.
Yes.
Wait, but okay, take us to the beginning. So we heard
all the way to the beginning. Can
We-
you go 12 back?
Yeah, okay, you
Yep.
were born day one.
Yep. And then I found my way here. Yeah.
That's crazy. Well, so we heard that Jenny and Lena, of course, went to opening night of Book of Mormon on Broadway and said, I have to know him.
Yes.
What was it on your end? Were they just like, hey?
Yeah, I got a call from my agent that said that there, is this new show that's going to be on HBO with this woman named Lena Dunham, and she had just made a movie called Tiny Furniture that hadn't come out yet, but it had been doing like the festival circuit. So they sent me a copy of Tiny Furniture, and they were like, "Watch this movie, and if they would like to meet with you potentially for this show." So I immediately watched the movie and thought it was, hilarious, and she was hilarious and so odd and smart. And I thought that movie was so incredible
It's
that I was
so
like,
good.
I want to meet them. Yeah. And I had never really, I'd been working on Broadway, but I really hadn't done any television
Right.
work. So I went and met with them, and they said there's a role, but it's not really written for your type, but you can read for it. It was really just sort of, my understanding was that it was like sort of a general meeting,
Okay.
that I was going to read this scene with her, but it was written as like kind of a short bearded yogi was the way Elijah
really?
was described, and I was playing a Mormon on Broadway, and I was like, well, this is not for me, but it was great because I just kind of got to go in and we read through the scene, and then we started improvising stuff just sort of for the hell of it.
Yeah.
and really hit it off with Lena and Jenny. And then they said, we'll rewrite it if you want to do it.
No, and thank God they
change.
did.
So they did, and I went in and I did, the first sort of chunk. It was like the third episode of that first season, and we filmed the first part of the scene. And Judd Apatow, who's the executive producer, was on the set that day, and he was like, "Well, let's just play around with some other stuff. You two we were sitting in a bar, so they were like, let's just play around a little bit."
Yeah.
So we improvised a bunch of different endings to that scene, and Judd just kept coming up to me and like whispering, like, and I didn't really know Judd either at the time, so he would just, he was like, "Do you know who Peter Scolari is?"
Okay.
And I said, "I do." And he was like, "Well, he's playing Lena's dad in the show. So anything you could come up with
No way.
about, like," and I didn't know what the character was. I didn't know. So, he told me it was Peter Scolari. He told me he had his ear pierced.
I know, that was the first thing I thought when you said
Yeah.
it. Were you like,
he told
you
me
were
those
improvising
two
that?
things.
Okay,
Yeah.
you said that.
So then we just made up the end of that scene.
No way.
Yeah.
One of the most iconic scenes.
Which was
Wait,
really
what's
fun.
it like to make history in real time? Do you know how many people comment on like every clip we post, like, that scene changed the world?
Wow, that's very funny. That's very nice. I don't know if it. I don't know.
You don't have to
we
say
did.
it,
We
we
did
can.
it so many.
Should we
made it
turn the fan off?
Oh yeah,
me to-
sorry.
No.
Sorry.
We did it so many different ways that I didn't know.
What
which
would make
one they
the
were gonna
cut, yeah.
pick. Yeah.
Oh, that's the third episode.
That's the third
Yeah.
episode. But yeah, I guess and I didn't really know. Looking back, I'm really happy that I didn't really know like the rules of how TV stuff works. So like I told her dad was gay, and then I walked out of the shot, which is like, sort of frowned upon in most TV settings. But I was like coming from the theater where I was like, well, I guess I'll
dramatic
just do
accent.
whatever. And that one seemed to be, I sort of had a sense that was going to
They
be the
love
one
that.
that
You left this,
picked.
yeah, and they were like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, we
and then
got
they
the
said
shot.
the thing that, a lot of people say. They're like, "Oh, we'll have you back." And I was like, they're not going to have me back. Like it was a one episode thing. They were already filming. So I was like, what are the odds that they would be able to like write this character back
Right.
into the show? But then like 2 weeks later, they called and they said, "We have another
You're going to be the
episode
roommate.
for you." Well, there was another scene that they added into an episode, and then by the end of the season, they were like, "Do you want to just come in
Yeah, you're gonna get a pan up in a bed season 2.
and film that?"
Oh my
So that
God.
was pretty wild. But at the same time, we filmed that whole first season, and I was just kind of coming in and out and doing the Book of Mormon, and then
Yeah, because I'm confused. You were filming that while playing Elder Price like
Yeah.
8 times a week?
That's correct.
What?
So like I think we filmed that first episode was like on a Thursday morning. Yeah, and then I just went to the theater that night and
Oh
did
my
Were you not so
God.
tired?
the show. Yeah, but it was really exciting.
Yeah,
it was
of
a really
course.
fun. Obviously, it's a fun thing to get to be a part of. So they just, anytime they called me back that first season, they just worked around the show schedule. So I would work, like I remember doing an episode like the morning after the Tony Awards of
No.
2011, like performing on the Tonys, and then the next morning at 5 a.m. getting picked up
Oh my
Oh
God.
my
to go
God.
do an episode.
What-
So it was a really exciting time. But I did that, and then I shot a pilot for NBC with Ryan Murphy after we finished that, and then filmed the second season of Girls while I was still in the Book of Mormon,
Oh my God.
and then went away and filmed that show for Ryan Murphy in Los Angeles, and then came back and we did the third season of
Oh
Girls.
my
It was
God.
really
God.
wild. Yeah.
And you were kind of heavily in the later seasons.
Yeah, and the first I would say 3, I was very much just recurring, kind of in and out.
Yeah.
And a lot of that was because of the Book of Mormon schedule, and then because of the new normal schedule. Like I lived in LA. So I think it's that third season when Elijah shows up at like the beach house episode. Like I wasn't supposed to be in that season at all.
Really?
And then the new normal got canceled after a season, and Lena called me. Lena was the first person who called me when that show got canceled, and she said, "Do you want to just come back to Girls?" And I said, "Yep." And it was like within the
Aw.
hour. Like they made the announcement that the show was canceled, and she called and she was like, just come back to New York. I said, okay.
Oh,
We
that's so magical.
we're tearing
And then we
up.
got Beach House out of it.
One of the most important episodes in all of TV
It's pretty
history.
great. It's pretty great.
Okay, well, we have so many questions about Elijah, but before we
Oh,
get into
boy.
it, we have a question we ask all our guests.
Yes.
Andrew, girl, what girl are you?
I love this part. What girl am I? I have to be one of the four, huh?
Well, you can do whatever you
You could,
want.
of
'cause you're
course, be
Andrew Rannells.
Elijah, but
I think that's too easy, right?
yeah.
I mean, the reality is, am I a Marnie? I might be.
it's okay. I'm a Marnie.
I might be. I might be
yeah.
a bit of a Marnie.
Well,
With
you
like,
did Book of Mormon.
I know.
You were improving with Lena Dunham, and then you went to do something with Ryan Murphy in LA. That's a Marnie move.
It's a kind of a Marnie move.
It feels
Yeah.
like you would sing Rent at Hannah's
I know. I'm a
birthday.
Marnie.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
That's okay.
That's what happened, and that's why Allison and I think, get along so well. It's
I know.
because
Whenever
both-
we are looking for photos to post, there's so many of you two queening out.
I know.
Yeah.
We were always just fucking around.
I love that.
Singing.
Oh,
We never got to sing together on that show, did we? There was an episode where Elijah and Marnie have sex for 2 seconds. We
Yeah,
did
Just
sing.
two pumps.
We did sing in that episode, but then they cut it.
they got it.
Wait, what did you
Oh.
sing?
I don't
This
even
is a
remember.
karaoke
We did
episode.
karaoke. We
that
did a
was
whole
so
song.
stressful. Your boyfriend sucked that episode.
Yeah,
Yeah,
But-
Henry.
yeah.
It's okay.
It's
We
sad.
were thinking, what's our most Elijah moment?
What is your
We were
most
thinking.
Elijah moment?
Okay, so I'm thinking when you go to Iowa and you make two girls wrestle in blue paint.
Uh-huh.
I feel that's a really me move.
Yeah.
I would love to make two girls do that for my entertainment.
It was very odd.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, give a hand job in a
I know,
bathroom.
that was awesome. Iowa
Thank you.
Elijah was so iconic. Like when we were covering that episode, we ended up talking like half the episode about Elijah's journey.
It's quite a journey that he just rolls
You're
in
also,
and starts
like-
the party.
You were writing an article. Hannah was like, "What are you doing?" And you're like, "I'm writing an article about how fat children make for slutty adults."
That's right. That's right.
So fun.
Do you still believe in that?
No. But it was just a funny thought. You know, that was it was like a really fun aspect, but a really sort of tricky aspect of that show is that we did improvise so much that you never knew what they were going to
Right.
they were going to
What are you
keep.
gonna keep?
So some things that you say really flippantly at, 7:30 in the morning on a Tuesday are now in a television show forever, and you're like, ugh. I wish I would have
Quoted
thought
forever,
I wish I would have
right.
thought about that one. just for
People
a second.
people love it. Every character gets hate but you.
Really?
I've got to
Yeah,
be
I
honest.
would
Like,
say-
what wouldn't you say? Like, of all the characters, people are just like Elijah forever. Elijah's perfect. No notes.
I don't know. You'll get some notes after this podcast.
Yeah.
people will think of things to say.
I will say my most Elijah moment is like telling Hannah I slept with her best friend like on coke because it's like I'm always like partying and I'm like, oh, like it's so casual. I should just tell them this thing now and
Yeah,
then
don't
ruin the
do that.
vibes and then get in a fight in a pharmacy.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah,
Although I think that's probably my favorite episode
it's so
that
fun.
we did.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
I think so. Yeah. It was a real fun
Well,
one.
there goes all our questions.
No. Yeah, I'm glad you both have solid Elijah moments.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna cut to our first break.
And then
Oh,
when we
boy.
get back, we're gonna lean into Lena.
Oh boy.
Wait, okay, we're back. We're feeling good. That was an amazing break.
It really
Leaning
was.
into
Thank
Lena.
you to the sponsors.
Oh yeah, of course. Shout out to
Yes.
State Farm.
Shout
Fingers
out.
crossed.
Oh.
Wait, I love that you got Motto coffee today.
I sure did.
Do you have a Motto right by you?
I do not.
Oh, did you get a Motto here?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
We never go there.
I've
You
been-
don't?
No.
Well, they have banana flavored coffee, which I'm always so interested to
Oh,
try.
that's odd. They were very nice there.
They're so
It was
nice
just
there.
one nice man. That
Oh,
was
it's usually a Russian girl when I go.
No, it was just he was very friendly.
Oh, thank God.
So yeah.
Yeah. a good
Support
place to
small
get coffee.
business.
Oh, well,
what
I
I'm
don't know how
saying.
small they. I think they're VC now.
Oh.
But maybe not.
capitalist?
Yeah.
Fuck.
It's like
Really?
blank. Well, they have everything in the store though is $3 and they cap it at that, which is like fun for everyone.
For real?
If you order on the app, which is a crazy
Wow.
rule. It's a crazy rule, but it is the truth.
Okay.
If you order an app, everything's $3, even the banana bread.
Wow.
I want to do that.
You got to start going. It's right around the corner.
I need
So
to
cool.
download more apps for the actual place. Like I'm always just on Uber Eats pickup, and it's like, no, I should download Sage Thai for them.
Maybe.
That's a Thai
Yeah.
restaurant near where. Do they have an app? They have one restaurant.
They should have an app.
Good for them.
Yeah.
Good for them, please.
Yeah.
Why not?
Get into it, small business.
Elijah Krantz. Okay.
Yes.
So season 1, you kind of they were like, we want to know him. Like he's gonna improvise this scene. He'll be in and out. And then it's like, okay, you're moving in with Hannah. Like,
I know.
did you sit down with Lena and they're like, this is our plan for Mr. Elijah, or what was?
Kind of, yeah. I remember that. So the first season ends in the wedding, right? And Hannah asks Elijah to move in, and that was a big deal for me, obviously, to be like, oh, I guess I'm really going to be on this show. And then I knew by the time we started that I was going to be leaving in the middle of the season to go film something else. So they had to figure out a way to get rid of me, which was the big breakup because I had sex with Marnie. So that was all sort of structured. That there was going to be.
It's so cool that they're like, the only way to get rid of him is that he has sex with Marnie.
Yeah, that he has sex with Marnie and then tells her. But it was a really great. I mean, I remember being very sad filming that episode because I was like, what if this is the last episode I get to do?
You have to eat a burrito with her still.
I know. But I didn't know that at the time. So I was like, this might be it. So it was kind of a great episode to go out on. But I was so happy that, I got to come back.
You still had 2 more love
in the
interests to go
North
through.
Fork. I know. I had
Beach
a
House.
couple.
You were dating that evil guy from Gilmore Girls.
I was. Danny Strong. That
was terrible.
So mean. He was so mean to me.
He was so mean, and everybody was like, Elijah, don't do that.
But sometimes that happens.
Sometimes
it happens. And then I had to wait a while before Elijah got like a real good
I know.
boyfriend.
Okay, so we're always talking about this. You're kind of the first nuanced gay character to ever be on TV
That's
that
nice.
we know of.
Okay.
Like, we didn't
You're
have
up there.
Love Simon back then.
No, there was no Love Simon.
Yeah, because, even you're more complex than Love Simon because he gets on a Ferris wheel because it's a boy and that's all he has. But you actually get to be happy, sad, angry, and mean.
I do. I get to do all of those things.
You get to do all
and
those
I was
things.
very excited about that Corey Stoll storyline because it was while it, sort of ended badly for Elijah, it did feel like a really complete
The dill of it all.
The dill of it all.
The dill of it all.
Yeah. Did you have a relationship like that Lena was inspired by, or it was kind of
Yeah. And we would share stories and we would share experiences, and that was one definitely that I'm older than all of them.
Mm-hmm.
So I was 32 when we started. And like a good
that's like a decade
10 years older than they were supposed to be. So I was like, well, when I was in my 20s, I was in a relationship with a guy who told me that I was too aimless. I know. And then it was in the show, which was
Put it
pretty
out
wild.
there.
But it was, I really loved that storyline.
Was it painful to act, or it was kind of cool because you're like, this isn't real?
It was cool. It was cool because I was on the other side of it.
Yeah.
Because I knew that it ended well for me. But at the time, it was like devastating. So it was sort of easy to remember for Elijah, like this is sort of feels like the end of his world.
Right.
And then he really did sort of spiral out for a while,
He really did.
Because something we often talk about in this podcast is how in a female straight relationship, it's like who has the power. It's usually the man, but in a gay relationship, it's so much about age comes into play.
Yeah.
Especially in this Dill relationship, where it's like Dill is significantly older and successful, and it like falls into these specific gender norms. So you were saying you had a specific, or it doesn't fall, but like it kind of mimics more of that hetero relationship when you have an age.
Yeah, when there's
like
that age gap, absolutely.
Right. So it's inspired by you were saying something. Or you could tap into that emotion because it's inspired by something in your 20s.
Yeah, I would say that I've mostly dated guys who are older, personally.
Yeah.
So that part of the story, like, sort of made sense for Elijah, that he would find himself with this, like, older guy who happened to be more successful, and Elijah didn't really know what he wanted to do yet, was still very much, kind of figuring that out.
Yeah. Did you kind of view Elijah as, like, a younger version of you. I always think it's so interesting when like somebody massively successful, like you were like the king of Broadway, like you were doing really well in like your real life, like you're such a successful like artist, and then Elijah's kind of very lost and like can't get anything, and it's like season 6 before he's auditioning for like at an open call. Like it was that weird dynamic to kind of like,
I mean, it was familiar because I had certainly gone to a lot of those. I mean, that episode too is like, that was, you know, sort of based on an experience that I had at an audition.
Really?
Yeah, like a
called
specific
White Man
audition.
Can Jump?
No, it was a show called Lysistrata Jones that was on Broadway in like 2012. But I had done an out of town production of that show in like 2009.
Oh my god.
2010. And I went in for the show, and it was, you know, it's the story of Lysistrata, but it takes place on a college campus, and then they withhold sex to get the basketball team to play harder to try to win.
That's a really good idea.
Really
so
good
that
idea.
was the show. So I was playing, you know, that guy, but when I auditioned for it, I went in and, you know, I sang and I read and everything was going really well, and they really liked, you know, they thought I was funny, and I was like, okay, seems like it's going my way. And they were like, we do have to have you dance though, because it is going to be a big dance musical. And I was like, shit, because I don't really dance that well. And so I went to this dance audition, and they pulled out fucking basketballs.
No.
Yeah, and we had to do it, and I ended up getting it, but it was a disaster. It was a disastrous audition. So I told Jenny and Lena that story, and then I don't know if they had already, you know, decided on White Men Can't Jump, but like I was like, well, I had this experience with this other musical, and so then when we were filming that sequence, it was very much like I was like, oh, this is exactly how this happened.
Did you have an Athena Dante there too?
I wish. I wish that I did.
A little spirit guide would
have been helpful. That would have been really helpful. But yeah, I mean, and I didn't know. I think even when we were filming that episode, because he doesn't find out that he gets it.
No, he doesn't
until
the
episode. The next
one.
Yeah.
It's in the next episode. So I wasn't sure how that was going to.
What do you? You're like, you get it, and you're like, y'all are all feckless whores.
And that was another.
Was that another?
That was another like. I didn't make that up, but you know, there were several exit lines.
Right.
Nisha Ganantra directed that episode, and we just had many options of like what is the last thing that he's going to say.
Oh my God.
And at that time, if I'm being totally honest, I didn't know the finale hadn't been written yet. So I didn't know if I was in the finale or not.
Oh.
So I didn't know that was my last
line
scene.
in All Girls.
Yeah.
It's so fun
But
when you win.
looking back, I was like, oh, that's actually a great
way to
line
exit
for him.
Yeah.
To not be in that
You
final
kind of have the
episode.
best ending.
I mean, in some ways, because you don't really know. In my mind, I think that like he went off and did that show. Maybe it was successful, but you know, Dill is sort of hovering again.
Yeah.
And I feel like if we were to jump forward and be like, where are they? I think they might be together.
Where
You
he
think
finally
Dill
has
and
purpose.
Elijah are together?
I think they might be.
Because he made it to Broadway.
Yeah, probably. And they probably have like a child, and they're like, yeah.
Oh my God.
That's my thought. If we were to like do.
Yeah, if we could do, so we guessed what all the characters would be up to now, and for you, we said rest in peace, Elijah. You would have loved watching Renee raps like
100%.
Queendom.
I saw that, and that was correct.
But what if you could imagine what Elijah? Imagine it's 2024. It's today. What is Elijah doing today?
I mean, I would imagine that he's not acting.
Really?
Yeah, I think that he probably did some of that. He might have been like, I don't know. I feel like he would be a better like TV host than he would be like a full-time actor.
He and Dill.
Yes, and Dill is doing something. I don't know if Dill still has his show but they're still both working, and they probably have a child, and he's living a shockingly stable life.
Really stable. The child's
I sort of
private
think.
school.
I mean, still messy.
Of course.
Still messy, but I think that they probably have.
We can make a show out of that.
Yeah,
There's enough there.
Yeah.
I think it could be. I mean, I'm not suggesting he turns into like an Andy Cohen, but he's like definitely like the host of like some reality show or something.
I could see him on E.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Like he's doing red carpet coverage, or maybe he's hosting like a Love Is Blind reunion.
I feel like you'd be
Maybe podcast, honestly.
He could be
a podcast where it's mainly like housewives from different universes.
Could be. Bring them all together.
I would hope for that. Really good exit lines as well.
Do you think any of those girls would be a real housewife?
Shosh, maybe.
Maybe Shosh.
If she pushed herself.
Yeah, she might. That's a good, I could see her being on one of those.
Yeah. Do you think Elijah would be still texting any of them?
I think he would, obviously, I think he would still be in touch with Hannah.
Yeah.
I don't think he and Jessa ever speak.
Never again.
No, but she's
and I'd like to think that on some strange level, he and Adam have like connected in some strange way, much to the horror of Hannah.
Oh,
I think that would be.
I could see that.
Hannah's
humorous.
like, I see on Find Mine that you're both at the pier. What's going on?
Exactly.
Yeah.
the pier.
Yeah, near the water. Up here.
Well, they're both Broadway community. Finally,
Well, true.
That's
Yeah.
true.
That's true. Who
you were
knows
crashing so many red carpets.
It's
what
crazy
Adam is
that
doing.
Desi and Adam get to Broadway before Elijah. That's kind of
I know, it's sad.
bullying.
It is sad.
Ooh, I
Yeah.
wonder what Desi's up to.
I
Dead.
don't know.
Dead.
Well, he might be, but he's Eben. You didn't know this, of course, but I knew Eben in college.
Really?
At
So it was a
Marymount?
very strange. He didn't go to Marymount. He went to Columbia, but he went to school with friends of mine, with my friend Susanna and my friend Jill Matteo, and
God.
so I knew him, and he very much was sort of like that cool guy who would come into a party and every girl was in love with, and I was always like, ugh, that guy. Didn't really know him, but was just like, God, that guy. And then over the years got to be friends with him, but so it was funny when he showed up. I was like, I know this guy.
Is he a motorcycle guy for real?
I don't think Eben has a no.
No.
He's like
so
a
good at
family
writing
man.
it, though.
He's like a family man.
Damn.
Lena's so good at casting people that are basically themselves.
Yeah.
Or can make fun of themselves.
Right,
I mean, like the
exactly.
best example of that, I think, is that episode we did with Patti LuPone. That
Yeah,
Patti LuPone
right.
played herself, but she didn't really play herself. She played a horrific version of herself, wearing like a nightgown at dinner and just being like drunk all the time. But the fact that Patti was able to like
Tap into
laugh
that.
at it and be like, I can play a silly version of myself, because that could be a risky move.
Right.
You know, if I asked you to play yourself in something, but I'm like, but you're gonna be a fucking mess.
Right.
It's like, that's not. You might
I'm
be like,
okay, well, I'm actually really good at typing,
yeah.
so
So
walk it back.
yeah, but Patti was game, so that was
That
smart.
must have been so fun. That's the episode where she calls you a Kennedy.
It is.
Yeah. I'm just encyclopediaing at you. You're
No, I
like,
love
this
it.
is fun.
I love it.
Do you have any episodes that stick out the most as like, that was the funnest day of filming, or that was the worst day of filming?
The episode which like is sort of like in season 3, I don't know what it's called, where Lena and I have to we are dancing around to I Love It, to that Iconopop song,
Andrew,
which was that episode. That sequence was really, really fun. We were in was it Green Room? We were at some club in Soho, like in the morning, of course, filming that. But we had to, Jesse Peretz, who directed the episode, had this idea that we would lip sync that song. They like triple timed the speed, and then they shot it in slow motion, which is something that like
That's
I think
a
a lot
thing.
of people do, but like I had never heard
We
that
did
or
the limp
seen it.
sync it at 3 times speed, and then they film it in slow
And
motion.
then they film it in slow motion, so it looks normal. So when you're watching us like jump around, our lips are still moving to the music correctly, but the motion is in slow motion. So the way you do that is you
Oh.
like speed it up. So we had to learn that song, which I had
Whoa.
never heard. She sent it to me. I remember being in my dressing room at the Book of Mormon, and she sent me that song, and she was like, "Can you learn the words to this?" Which it was a cool song, so I was like, sure. So learn the words to it, and then they sent me like the sped up version, and they're like, you have to lip sync it this fast.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
It was really cool. And they do it. I've seen, other people do it. I'm like, oh, that's how they do that.
I
But
had no
Jesse,
idea that's how
That's
they pull it
industry
off.
secret.
Jesse Peretz.
You guys had the first Brat Summer ever, it feels like.
I mean, so that was a really fun episode. That beach house episode was hard to film
Everybody said it
Right.
was really cold or something.
It was super, super cold. And it was weird because it was, it was like in June that we were filming it. And we were in the North Fork. And we're in this house, which was Jesse's house, which is really lovely. But we were staying at this like weird motel. And like the days were just super fucking long. And there was no place to sort of go in that house. And it was a lot of us and a big crew and a big cast. We had a lot of guest stars, and
There were so many boys.
There was a lot of boys. And
how many days of shooting was that?
I mean, the whole episode I think was 7.
Yeah.
But like that dance sequence took for fucking ever to
Really?
do.
It's a hard dance.
It was.
Can't believe Hannah couldn't learn it. It took forever.
Right. It took forever. Yeah, but it was really cold in that house too.
Damn.
And then we had to get in the pool, and it was freezing.
No.
And poor Allison had to get into the ocean.
The ocean. And she's so small.
I know.
Like,
But she did it. She's a real trooper.
I love her.
I love her too.
I'm addicted
She's
to
a good
her.
one. She's a real good one.
AW.
AW. Yeah, that I think that might be that's a lot of people's favorite episodes of Girls, and I
Really?
think it might be my favorite
It's a
episode.
good
of Girls.
one.
It's a good one because it's the
It's a real
first
good
time we
one.
ever see Shoshana really break out of her shell.
I know she really tears into
She
them.
really tears
In her
into that.
tracksuit. There's nothing like it.
Dog tastes like condom. I mean, Elijah's full of iconic lines.
I guess so.
I
Yeah.
feel like if I
mean,
was you,
mean.
I'd wake up in
Mean.
the middle of the night, like yelling out like a line and be like,
Well, what would often happen, because we did improvise a lot, is that, you try to think of things as quickly as possible, obviously, but then on the way home, I would think of something that was funnier.
way better.
Right.
Like, God damn it.
Get back to the studio.
Why can't I say that?
That's what
And you don't
showers
get
are
to fix
for.
Fuck. And now
just don't
we
get
can't
to.
post those quotes on our
it. No,
Instagram.
because we just forgot.
This is
We
how.
just forgot them.
Let's cut to our second break, and when we get back, we are gonna jump into our last 2 segments.
I honestly didn't realize how much you guys improv.
Yeah, I had no idea about that.
We did a lot.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
I mean, within reason. It was obviously the scripts are great.
Yeah.
And very highly scripted, but and I think particularly for me, for Elijah, there was opportunity, especially at the beginning and the end of scenes.
Yeah.
That was the best
Right.
time to do that. Or it's tricky to improvise in the middle of a scene because you don't want to fuck up the story or derail where the scene is
Right.
supposed to be going. But if there's an opportunity at the beginning, or if there's an opportunity at the end to button it, those were the times where I was like, I know I can get something in here. So
Right.
most of the improving I got to do was at the beginning and the end. I mean, sometimes the director would be like, can you just riff on this idea, which was really fun to do, especially
Yeah.
with Lena, because we do that really well together. Or we have fun doing it, at least. I don't know if it always works out, but it was a good lesson for me to learn as an actor that if you can very easily disrupt the whole rhythm of a scene if you try to
Right.
improv too much. And it's not, if the writing is good, you don't need to.
Yeah.
But if you have a zinger to throw in at the end, save it for the end.
Right. Would you come up with them in your notes app before it was all kind of just in the moment?
It was all, I never pre-planned anything.
Yeah.
But within those scenes, sometimes I remember there was a scene we did where I was it was very rare that I would be with all 4 of the girls.
Yeah.
And we were at having brunch, and we were sitting at a bar, and
Hannah's
felt very
becoming a
Sex and the
teacher?
City. Yes.
Yeah.
It felt very Sex and the City to all of us. And that one seemed like everyone could kind of fuck around in that scene,
That
which was
scene
really
was
fun.
crazy.
It was really nuts.
I feel like we edited it, and to make it all verticals, it was a lot of cuts to the
Yeah,
different
you
people.
can't.
But all the comments are everybody's saying the most insane thing in the most real way.
Yeah. No, we just I forget who directed that episode, but I do remember they just sort of were knock yourselves out.
Were you taking UCB courses?
Yeah.
No, I never. No, that was not. No, I never studied improv.
You're just a natural
but-
improviser.
Well, I think within the world of that character, I feel like I got to know him pretty
Yeah.
well. So, I mean, I certainly can't do it in everything that
I'm just
am
like, the
in,
Book of
but
Mormon was probably a tight script.
There's no improving in the Book of Mormon.
Yeah.
It could be fun with a little improv, though.
You know
Couldn't loosen it
that
up.
musical changed my life. It made me quit Christianity.
Really?
Yeah, because I listened to
Were
it.
you a Mormon?
I was like devout Christian in Texas, and then my friend, I asked to the prom, and he said no, I'm gay, and then he made me listen to the Book of Mormon soundtrack, and I was like, religion's a satire.
It is satire.
But your voice changed my view
Wow.
in the world.
That I Believe song really hit deep for you.
Really,
I mean,
remember
it does like sort of
the
drive
way
home
you
the
sing.
point.
I believe. I'm like, oh my god, yeah.
It's just all. It's
It's
all a
all-
metaphor.
It's all a metaphor.
It's I remember this very misguided young woman coming to the stage door of the Book of Mormon, and she said, "I just converted to Mormonism," and I
Oh my
said,
God.
"Did you watch the show?" And she said, "I've never actually seen it, but I've just listened to it." I was like, "Well, that's not the point."
No, I had a bunch of Mormons at my high school in like my theater program that would earnestly listen to the songs and be like, "This is so fun. It's about us."
Yeah, but the overall, like if you get to the end of it,
Yeah.
a lot of Mormons love musical theater.
And they're good at it.
They're really good at it.
Yeah.
Do Mormons sing a lot?
I think they sing a lot in church, but
No, they don't do that in Salt Lake.
no.
They're never singing on that show.
Okay.
It'd be
Oh.
fun. We could add a little
Like
bit.
the Real Housewives
The
of
Real
Salt Lake?
Housewives of Salt
I've
Lake.
never seen that.
You've never seen it?
No,
What do you watch?
I guess.
not the Real Housewives of Salt Lake.
Damn.
I did watch the short-lived Real Housewives of Dallas.
Yep. For that to be your
Rest
one
in
choice.
peace.
Rest in peace. Rest in peace.
They have an amazing airport there.
Dallas?
DFW.
It's not a bad airport.
Yeah, I like it.
Is that where
there.
you're from?
I'm from Austin, but I always had to transfer in Dallas.
So you're from the cool part.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, duh. I spent some time in Austin.
It's really big now.
It's
Yeah.
for crypto.
I was there when it wasn't.
I worked there in 2002, and I did a production of Hedwig at a theater called the Zach Scott. Do you know that theater?
the Zach Scott Theater.
Yeah,
Of
which is now a big
course.
theater, but at the time was a small theater, but I lived there for like 4 months.
Wait, they
Oh my
make
God.
theaters bigger?
They got a fuck ton
They
of
got
money.
so much
Oh, that's
money, and now they have.
I don't know where that money came from, but they have a huge theater. Like I did a movie with Nick Kroll that's coming out this winter, and we did the premiere at South by Southwest in the
Oh.
Zach Scott
Oh
they
my
have
God,
a huge.
yeah.
They host all that South by Southwest stuff there now.
Yeah, Austin has really grown so much.
Yeah, it really has.
Wait, I'm excited for this movie.
Yeah, I think it'll be good. I think you'll like it.
Oh, you never stop working.
I know.
Well, I try.
Okay, we have to do our segments.
Yes. Okay,
Girl, get your Glock. It's rapid fire time.
Yes, I'm scared for this part, but I will try my best.
We're gonna ask you a series of rapid fire questions. You have
Okay.
to answer them as quickly as you can. Do not think twice.
Oh God, please no.
Are you a schoolgirl or are you getting schooled, girl?
I'm a schoolgirl. You
Who
said
ga-
fast.
Who gave Hannah HPV?
I did. Elijah did.
What's your favorite utensil?
A fork.
When did you eat beef jerky?
We don't know. That's no business of. What was the? That's no
I think you're
business of
just-
yours.
Yeah, that's no business of yours, Elijah.
It's no business of yours.
Is Barack Obama bi?
Is that no?
Is he open?
Yes.
Is he dating Jennifer Aniston?
No.
Oh, I wish they were. Are you Blake Lively's husband?
No.
Do fat kids make for slutty adults?
Yes.
Oh, that's a different answer from earlier.
I know. I changed my answer.
Are you the voice of a generation or a voice of a
You
generation?
did the same thing.
I said the same thing twice. Are you a voice of your generation or a voice of a generation?
A voice of a generation.
Which character would you want Elijah to have a Wattpad fanfic with?
Oh my God, I don't know what that means.
It's like fanfic, but on internet.
Oh, just like a which character in the show?
Yeah.
Desi.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a good choice.
Thank you. Thanks, Evan.
Can white men jump?
No.
Are we the hottest people here?
Yes.
Why did Elijah never hook up with Jessa?
Because she hates him.
Okay. Fuck, marry, kill, Marnie, Shosh, Hannah.
Fuck Marnie. Marry Hannah. Kill Shosh.
Yeah. Sorry, Shosh.
I mean, I'm sorry, but
What
I
is it?
love Shosh.
Literally. Well, that's actually, I answered as you earlier. We were practicing. I gave the same answer.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I love. Yeah. I do.
What is Athena Dante up to today?
She's a Broadway star.
Oh, I hope so.
If you have one piece of advice for the boys who identify as Elijah out there, what would it be?
What would it be?
How do we help them?
I mean, I think you've got to. I mean, there is sort of an inherent aimlessness to Elijah, right?
Yeah.
So at some point, you've got to focus. You've got to learn what to focus on, or at
Focus
least
up, boys.
try something. You've got to try something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is my dad gay?
Yes.
Ugh, I knew it. He is a twink.
He is.
Your dad's a twink?
Yeah.
He
Wow.
just has twink energy.
It's crazy because
That's
he's like
cute.
hyperbolic and skinnier to me. He has everything.
Wow. Congrats to your dad.
Okay, our last
Congrats
segment.
to your dad.
That outfit in Brooklyn.
That's where you hear Brooklyn then versus Brooklyn now.
Oh, God. All right.
Okay, so we have so many
Okay.
questions. We already asked what is Elijah up to now, but if the show, if Girls came out today, 2024,
Yep.
same characters, different decade,
Sure.
what do you think would be different about Elijah? What do you think his thing would be?
Ugh. I don't know. I mean, I feel like the language is so different now. You know,
I know.
like the language around sexuality is very different. So
He
even
probably know more gay guys.
he would probably have more gay friends.
Yeah.
I think, or more like queer friends. I think that would definitely be part of it because he didn't really.
He did, but he was only like, taking photos of them in Iowa.
Yeah.
He never was really having conversation with them on TV.
No, we didn't really get
You
that.
were being such a queer elder in Iowa for a boy who didn't have a gay community in Brooklyn even.
I was really doing him a favor.
You were.
Hand jobs in the
Yes,
bathroom.
That kid, that young actor, he was also from Omaha, Nebraska.
Oh,
Oh,
so
really?
you broed out.
We sort of broed out as we were filming that scene where I had to give him a fake hand job.
Well, he must have
And-
been really young. And if you're already playing 10 years younger, you're like, this is a little boy.
Yeah, he was like out of college. So he was, I think he's probably like 22, 23. And we were filming that scene. And he said, I'm also from Omaha.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, cool. And then like, having to like, pretend to jerk him off. But he was
That
very
must
nice.
have been awesome.
He was a very nice guy.
he was like, our town's going to freak out about
I
this.
know. He asked if he was like, "Do you think that the Omaha World Herald will write about this?"
You think they
Maybe.
did?
I don't know. Omaha didn't really cover. That's where I'm from. It didn't really cover girls too much.
Did they
you
cover
know?
Book
Weird.
of Mormon?
They did. There was more. I got more attention for that. But then the things that I have done since then have not really. I mean, maybe now.
The
it
city
would be a
forgot
different-
about you.
Yeah, I'm not like a.
You became bi-coastal, and
then they were
they
like-
forgot.
Yeah, they were like, oh well.
Okay, well, we have to know you, Andrew Rannells.
Yes.
We're doing Girls back then, but now you're kind of doing this new show called Too
Yes,
Much.
too much.
Can you talk about it at all yet?
I can tell you. Yeah. No, I can tell you about it.
The
Because
way I just
Lena's
grew a
talked
foot,
about
I'm
it.
like,
Well, Lena's talked about it. And Lena, yeah, she's talked about it. Lena and I are now reunited in this show. Too much.
how did it happen? She FaceTimes you. She's like, hey, Andrew, like something's about to happen in London. You have to be a part of it.
Yeah, she was like, would you want to come to London for a little while and play with us in the show? And it's Meg Stalter and Will Sharp, and they're like the stars of the show.
Yeah.
And Lena and I just kind of get to fuck around behind them, which is really fun.
Oh my God.
That's so fun.
And so I went to London and we filmed a bunch of episodes, and I'm very excited.
What's your character's name? Can you say or no?
I don't know if I now I'm scared. Now I'm scared of everything. Now I can't remember. Lena did this really great interview for the New Yorker, I believe, just recently, and she she talked about it a little bit, but now I can't remember.
Yeah, we'll insert that here.
Yeah.
everything.
Just like put voice
That's
to
the one
text.
that's the one we posted on our story.
Yeah.
Right?
Sometimes we'll post an article and we'll be like, they should be paying us because it got 40,000 clicks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should get something for that.
Yeah.
No, but it's definitely, it's Lena and I playing more adult roles, and Meg and Will and their sort of like group of friends. It's a young woman who is, she moves from New York to London. And she is, sort of figuring out what her like adult life looks like in this city that's not one she's ever lived in. Which is, I mean, London is sort of the perfect place for it to take place because you will find out when you get there and you know that it's like there's aspects of it that really do feel like New York in a lot of ways, but then there's shit that like you're like, oh, I'm definitely very far away from home, which I think is a really cool place for a character to live. Like, she's a little bit steady where she can be like, I know this, it's a big city, like I can figure this out.
Because she's moving from New York.
She's moving from New York
to
go to London.
Yeah.
So she's just like a little, everything's just like slightly off kilter from what she's used to, which I think is a good metaphor for where this character is in her life. And Meg is like the real deal.
Star.
She's hilarious and so fun and so fun to work with.
London's the city that has the most people from the U.S. that move back to the U.S. from any city in Europe, because they think it's going to be similar. Yeah. And then they get there, and then they're Meg Stolter thrown off.
It's a little, yeah. It's like, I mean, I've worked there a couple times now, and it is like, it's very comfortable in a lot of ways because you're like, oh, it feels like New York, but it's not.
Well, it's like they film all of New York and Montreal now. So where's
or
even
Toronto,
New York?
Yeah.
Or Toronto.
Those tax credits go crazy.
Toronto is... Yeah.
I
went to college there, and it was
not really New
worst
York.
time of my life.
Really?
Yeah, because it wasn't here.
It's not New York. I think it's, and this is no like shade to Toronto, it's more similar to Chicago to
This
me
is what everybody says.
than it is to New York. So when people are like, it's like the New York of Canada, it's like, it's really not.
The Chicago.
It's the Chicago of Canada.
They don't have a New York.
And Chicago is great.
I've never left ORD.
No?
No.
But well, it's lovely.
If I ever get laid over
the airport?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Chicago's nice, but there's almost nothing there. I went there and they have one kava. That's not a city to live in.
One kava.
That's not a place to live.
Fix it, Chicago.
Wait.
Fix it.
Okay, so I actually think Elijah kind of invented polo shirts on gay guys.
What?
Do you? No. He's just mimicking it, but like no one's doing preppy like Elijah did in a real way. I mean, I did preppy in high school.
Yeah.
What Elijah was wearing was exactly what every gay guy at my high school was doing.
Really?
But no gay guys dress like that anymore unless they're going to their parents' country club.
No, it's true. Jen Rogan, our costume designer, really like she found some really good looks for him. And that short suit that Jen Rogan, when Adam has his like Broadway opening and Elijah shows up and he's wearing a short suit, now that's everywhere.
That's all I want.
And I'm not saying that Jen Rogan invented that, because what we were aiming for was like a precious moment.
Yeah.
You know, like those little figurines that it's like, you're a Christian, you would know. You know, like you get for like confirmation and for like, you know. So that was what we were aiming for. And now I see a lot of young men do that. The short suit.
The short suit. It's very
It's
J.W.
happening.
Anderson.
It's happening.
Damn.
Jen was ahead.
Well, did she custom it or did she buy it online?
She customed it.
Oh, she kind of really didn't create the short suit.
Yeah, there was no short suit, so we had to make it.
And it is the precious moment.
I look like a precious moment.
It's a ceramic doll.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, my hair is like that.
They should make girls' dolls.
Oh my God, I would love a precious moment of... Someone must be able to do that.
Perfectly...
Yeah, it's usually better
it
than
still
it is. But someone on the internet, some young person
there's
on
an Etsy shop
Etsy,
there's a teen on Etsy.
someone's doing it.
Yeah.
She's making your shoes and girls' precious moments.
That's right.
Lena would love that. A girl's precious moment of Hannah.
We would love to make it for her. The way we love that woman.
Too much.
She's the best.
Too much.
One day, well, when she's doing the rounds for Too Much.
That's our big idea is we're
think
going to
you
reach
should.
out to PR as soon as we know the release date of Too Much and be like, do you want to chat, girl?
I wish I could tell you when it is, but I don't know.
Yeah, my friend who works at Variety like looked in her emails for me and she said there's no date.
There's no actual air date yet, but it will be.
Do you think
I'm
it's going to
going
be
to
6
Netflix Studios.
seasons? Because we're hoping for that.
6 seasons? I mean, that'd be fun if it was. I would love that.
5 that are 10 episodes, a season 3 that's 12.
I mean, it'd be fun. But yeah, you should definitely get on that circuit. So
We're going to get on that circuit.
I'll tell her too.
Okay, perfect. Do you have anything else you want to plug?
Oh, for like in life?
Yeah.
I liked you on The Boys, even though it was like for 4 minutes. I loved it.
It's very strange, right?
Yeah.
Me singing for someone else.
When I was watching it, and it's surprising I'm even watching The Boys, for you to come out in tights like that, I was shocking and scary.
Well, I just sang. I didn't do the...
Oh,
I
that
didn't
wasn't
have to
you?
do that. No,
thank God.
No,
'Cause you're
Shoshana
on the
Bean and
soundtrack.
James Monroe Englehart and I just sang that song. which was very strange because they shot this huge production number, and then if you see it in the episode, it's like 10 seconds. It's like a very short version, but they did release like the whole thing on their social pages. The song is hilarious. It's a
great song. For us to only
odd.
get 10 seconds of it.
I know, but it is out there. You can get that whole song. No, like I said, I have this movie with Nick Kroll. It's called I Don't Understand You that will be out in the spring.
Okay.
Which I'm very excited about, and I just finished a movie with Allison Janney called
We
Who's
love
the
her.
Best? Who's the Best? So we did that. It's called Miss You Love You, which will be out hopefully later this year. And then Too Much someday will be coming out on the Netflix.
Oh my God. And of course we have to ask, if there is a girls project, would you do it again?
Of course. I would totally do it.
I mean, do you want to take anything off this wall to take home with you?
I just noticed what you've done here.
Did.
It's really good. Because I thought it was a still from the show, but it's not.
Oh no, it's a girl we knew who had a film camera.
But she did a great job.
She did a really good job, and she moved to London.
Oh, see,
and by London I mean Berlin, but she had fun.
Wow.
Oh, she's back already?
No, she moved to Berlin instead of London.
Oh,
well, Berlin's fun too.
Yeah,
Berlin's fun. Everything's fun.
You're gonna have a great time in Edinburgh.
I hope so. I hope it changes my life.
Can I ask you a personal question?
Yeah.
Why are you seeing Wicked in the West End?
Because I've been meaning to see Wicked for 8 years.
Okay.
And it's so expensive in New York, but it was only like €40 there for an orchestra seat.
Totally.
So I said, why the hell not?
Yes.
And Wicked's always killer.
It's always killer. You've seen it before, though.
I've seen it before. I'm also seeing Cabaret in Hadestown.
Great.
And maybe Matilda, but I don't know. It might be too much.
There's some fun ones. When we were filming Too Much, I saw a show called Standing at the Sky's Edge.
Okay.
Which I also recommend.
Is it still playing?
It's still playing.
Okay.
It's very British. It probably will not come to Broadway, so you should maybe see it over there.
It.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
gonna
real
see
good.
it. I love British stuff.
Yeah, this one it's a really cool show. So I would say
you're gonna see so many shows in a course of 10 days.
I know. I already bought 18 tickets for Edinburgh Fringe. I just want to see as many brunette women do a one-woman show and see what they're up to.
I know. See where the baby reindeer is, right?
Yeah.
See what a baby reindeer is.
Which, by the way, I went on a random solo yoga retreat in Mexico last Christmas, and he was on it.
No.
It was me, him, and 20 divorced women in their 40s.
And he was there.
Yeah, and he was like, yeah, I'm a writer for TV. No worries.
Wow.
He really undersold himself.
I was like, oh, what's your show that's coming out about? And he's like, oh, I went through a bit of a stalking situation. Cut to me watching it like, Richard.
Amazing. Well, you might discover the next baby reindeer.
Yeah.
Or Fleabag.
Which
I'm hoping Fleabag if you only bought shows for brunette women.
I know.
But it'd be cool.
But you never know.
You never know.
You never know.
A straight guy could wander out there.
Would you ever, do the two of you go to Edinburgh and do this? Do a show?
Do a podcast?
I don't know.
We should do HBO Girls Rewatch Live in Edinburgh every night for 30 nights.
We do it 3 times a
That would be so fun.
Make it a tax write-off. Get over there. It's a business trip.
I just launched an LLC. Everything's a tax write-off.
Yeah.
Every time I'm with anybody, I'm like, we're talking business.
Yeah, duh.
I'm at a bodega.
Yeah. Get that business card.
Is it just like one form to launch an LLC or is it like 8?
I paid a man in LA $100 to do it for me.
Yeah. I think that's the best way to do it.
Do you have an LLC?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's the way to do it.
Gutenberg?
Well, I'll see you in prison. No, I'm sure it's all legal. I'm sure it's all
we
fine.
have to go.
We have to go.
It's almost 11:30. It's time to do coke. Kidding. Thank you so much for being
Thanks
on.
for having me.
Thank you so much. Best day ever.
Literally best day of our lives. Everybody's gonna freak the hell out. We're gonna tag you in so many things. It's gonna be exhausting.
I can't wait.
Okay.
I can't wait.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.